Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by again. Thank you for your love and your support. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time on this channel, please do well to subscribe and smash on the notification bell so that you get to see more of my content. And guys, I'm so sorry this video is coming this late. I know I promised to drop it some weeks ago, but a lot of things came up, and right now this is it. So right here in this video, I'll show you how to make this stylish dress. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Alright guys, so for this tutorial we're going to be making use of this lightweight chiffon, and it's about 2 trousers. For a beginner you need about 2.5 trousers so that you don't have to manage a lot. Okay, then we're going to be needing our interface, rulers, a pattern paper and all that. Alright, so right now we are going to start drafting, and we are going to draft the upper part first. So the first thing we need to do is to indicate our half length, and for this tutorial it is actually 15 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. That will be 16 inches. Okay, and I'll go ahead and indicate with a straight line on this pattern paper. So right here guys, we have our waistline. The next thing we need to do is to indicate the shoulder measurements, and for this tutorial it is 7.5. and up next we are going to go ahead and add our sleeve measurements, and for this I'll be using 12 because this top is actually a cut together. Okay, that is why we're adding sleeve, and we are going to be adding 12 because this sleeve has a fold. We are going to be folding it, and it also has turn up. All right, so just go ahead and add 12 inches after the shoulder measurement. So guys, the first thing we did was actually to go ahead and measure the shoulder measurement, and after doing that we added sleeve to it. And now we are going to create our neckline, and for this we are going to use a wideness of 2.5 inches, and for the depth we are going to be using 1 inch. All right, and this is going to be for the back. For the front we are going to be using 2.5 by 2.5 inches. And now we are going to be creating shoulder slant, and I'll come to this part and come down by 1 inch, and from that point I'm going to link it all the way to the neckline. And the next thing I'll do is to come to this point here, and I'll place my tape rule like so, and I'll come down by 11 inches, and this is going to be our sleeve opening. Okay, so I'll come down by 11 inches. Okay, our normal opening for a normal dress will be around 8 and 7, but because this is a free dress we are using 11 inches, so I came down by 11 inches and I'll connect together on a straight line. So the next thing we are going to do is to come to this part, and we are going to impute our waist circumference divided by 4. Okay, and after doing that we are going to be adding extra 5 inches to that, and that is because there is split on the waist area. Okay, so I'll go ahead and add 5 inches extra. And having done that, the next thing we need to do is just to go ahead and connect right from here. We are going to connect it to this point. Okay, so guys, we are going to be using this pattern to cut both the front piece and the back piece, and remember that the back piece is going to be on fold. And here I'll just go ahead and cut only the back neckline. And the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and draft the lower part, which is the skirt part. And guys, make sure that your pattern paper is on fold. And the next thing to do is to go ahead and indicate the length of the lower part. So I'll just go ahead and remove 15 inches from the dress length. The dress length we are using here is 45. All right, so I'll just go ahead and indicate that on this pattern paper. And the next thing I'll do is to go ahead and indicate the hip area, and for this I'm going to be using 9 inches. All right, and I'll just go ahead and indicate that with a straight line like so. And the next thing to do is to go ahead and impute our circumference measurement starting from the waist. So we are going to impute our waist measurement divided by 4 here, and on the hip we are going to measure our hip divided by 4. And for the hemline, guys, I'll just go ahead and impute the same thing I have on the hip. I'm going to impute it on the hemline. And before connecting the points together, I'll just go ahead and find the knee line because we are going to use this later on, okay? So just measure from your waist to your knee area to get your knee line. And right here, guys, I'll come to the hemline here and I'll come in by 1 inch to shaping the skirt to make it penciled a little bit. You can actually come in by 2 inches, okay? But I'll use 1 inch, and whatever I have on the hemline, I'm going to transfer to the knee line. Then I connect on a straight line, and from the knee line, I'll connect to the hip, and from the hip, I'll connect to the waist. And after cutting out the pattern, guys, we are going to go ahead and redraft another pattern exactly like this, okay? So guys, I'll just go ahead and indicate that this pattern here is for the front piece, all right? So this is the center front. And this other piece that we cut is going to serve for the back. You will notice that we cut both of them the same way, okay? This is because this design is actually unique because it doesn't have side seam. There's no joining at the side, okay? So I'll just go ahead and indicate center back, pardon me, on the back piece. And all the things I did for the front, I'm just going to go ahead and indicate those lines on the back also. And for both of the patterns, I'll make sure to extend the line to the other sides too. And right about now, guys, the next thing we are going to do is just to go ahead and split this pattern, okay? We are going to cut from the center front and we are going to cut from the center back, just the way I'm doing right here. And so that I don't mix them up, I'll just go ahead and indicate left on this part and the other part I'll write right, and I'll repeat the same process to the other side right here. And the next thing we need to do is to pick one side from the back and one side from the front. As you can see, we have one right and one left here. So the next thing we are going to do is to use our masking tape, and we are going to tape it all the way down. So I'll just go ahead and continue to use the masking tape to connect both sides together until it gets to the hip area here. So in order for us to be able to join all the way to the top, we are going to slash this hip area like so that the pattern paper is going to relax. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and use the masking tape to join the other part. This might be a little bit tricky, okay, but just go ahead and connect it slowly. And the next thing to do, guys, is to go ahead and create our slash line. So there's a line on this hip area already, so I'll just go ahead and highlight that. Then I'll place my ruler on the center front and I'll create a slant line all the way to the back, okay? I'll come to the upper part here and I'll do the same, okay? Just go ahead and create those lines in a slant manner like so. So you can go ahead and create as many as possible slash line, okay? I'll come to this down part also and create slash lines around the area, okay? But I will make sure that I do not go beyond the knee line, okay? So guys, I created those slash lines on both of the patterns, okay? And I'm gonna be using this one. So the next thing we just need to do is to cut through these slash lines. And this is our pattern after slashing through the lines. And up next, we are going to spread our pattern on this fabrics. So here, guys, I went ahead to spread the pattern on the material, and you can spread as wide as possible depending on the amount of fabrics that you have. And the next thing we're going to do is to add allowance to the back area. Remember that when we are drafting, we didn't add any allowance. All right, we're going to add like 1 inch allowance to the back. We are going to add to the waist, and also the pleated area here. You can add as much as possible to the pleated area here, okay, so that when you are pleating, you don't have excess, you don't have shortage, pardon me. So I'll just go ahead and cut out with free hand. For a beginner, you can just go ahead and chalk it out first before you cut it out, okay? But right here, I'll just go ahead and I mark it, then I'll cut it out. So guys, this is what our pattern is looking like after cutting it out. So I'll come to this area right before the knee area, all right, where the pleat is going to stop, and I will notch it so that when we are pleating, I know where to stop. All right, so I will notch it there. So guys, I know that the shape might be looking abnormal at the moment, but don't worry, after pleating it, it's going to come back to its actual size. So right now, the next thing we need to do is to cut one more piece of this piece, okay? And that's exactly what I've done here. And now we now have 2 pieces. All right guys, so the next thing I did was also to go ahead to use our pattern paper for the upper part to actually cut out the upper part. Another thing I did was to add excess to the sleeve area here, so that when we are folding it, we don't have shortage, okay? When we are folding our sleeve, so that we don't have shortage. So right here guys, I have both the back piece and the front piece. The back piece is on fold, and here is the front piece. So here is the front piece, and I went ahead to add 1/2 inch allowance to the front, okay? This 1/2 inch allowance is what we are going to be using later on to add a bottom placket, okay? And the next thing I will do right now is to cut through the neckline for the front. So right here is the front, and this is the back piece. So now that we have the upper part and the lower part cut out, we are going to be working on the skirts first, okay? And what I'm doing here is to go ahead and start pleating right from the waist area here, all right? I'll start pleating all the way to the notched part above the knee. And I'll be using the pin to hold it in place as I am pleating, and I will stop right there on the notched part, okay? So these are the pleats, and we are going to be running a stitch around it just to hold it in place, okay? We are going to be running a stitch like so. We are going to repeat the same process to the other piece right here. So guys, this is it after running a stitch on the pleated area to hold it in place. This is what it looks like. And the next thing we need to do is to pick the center back of one piece and the center back of the other piece, and we are going to align it like so, and we are going to be stitching it all the way down. Remember that this design does not have side seam, all right? So this is the center back of both of them, and we are going to be running a stitch all the way down. And this is it after stitching the back. And when you open it up, this is what it looks like, all right? And up next, we are going to work on the upper part, all right? So I'm going to place the back piece like so, and I'm going to be aligning the front piece on it, right side facing the right side, and we are going to be joining the shoulders together. And that's exactly what I've done here. I went ahead to join the shoulders together, and the next thing we are going to do is to work on the sleeve, okay? So we are going to come to the sleeve area like so, and we are going to be folding it, okay? So go ahead and fold the sleeve like so. You are going to use about 3 inches to 4 inches, okay? Because we are still going to create a turn-up sleeve from the sleeve. Okay, so here I folded about 3.5 inches, so and I'm going to be using the pin to hold it in place. Then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch all the way down. I'm going to repeat the same process to the other sleeve also. And so guys, this is the sleeve after stitching it. Okay, make sure to give it a very good press. Okay, and the next thing we are going to do is to flip it to the right side now. And next, we are going to refold the sleeve like this, okay? In order to create our turn-up sleeve, we are going to refold the sleeve like so. We are going to hold it with a pin. And after holding it down like that, we are going to take it to the sewing machine and then tack it, all right? We are going to tack it in a way that it doesn't flip backward. And after doing that, we are going to join the sides together. And that is exactly what I've done here. I've gone ahead to join the sides together, okay? And the next thing I'll do is to cut out the excess that we have here. Alright guys, so the next thing to do is to start creating pleats. So I'm just going to start from the back and I'll measure what I have on the back here, and it's more than what I have on my waist circumference, okay? I have about 4 inches excess on the back, pardon me. So what I'm going to do is to use that excess to make a pleat, okay? So here guys, I've notched the center back, and right from the center back I'm going to measure my dart, okay? Half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4, and on the other side here I'm going to measure 4 there, okay? And I'm going to notch it, okay? So right from the area where we notched, which is the dart line, we are going to start our pleat from there, okay? I'll pleat and use a pin to hold it in place, and I'll go to the other side here and also, you know, pleat and use a pin to hold it in place. Then I will go ahead and measure what I have, and right here I have exactly half of my waist circumference, and we are going to repeat the same process to the front area too. And this is it after pleating and stitching it down, okay? And right now we are going to be joining the half length together with the skirt, okay? So you notch the center back and you are going to align it to the center back of the skirts, all right? Make sure to hold with a pin. I'll hold it down with a pin, then I'm going to stitch it all the way down. And right now, this is what our dress is looking like. The next thing to do is to create a button placket for our dress, and here I have a stripe here of about 3.5 inches. All right, you can use 4 inches for your placket, but here I have 3.5 inches, and I've also gone ahead to, you know, fold half an inch on both sides, and I folded it into two like so. All right, so go ahead and do the same. Then we are going to be attaching it to our dress. So in order to attach the placket to the dress, you can either, you know, sandwich the dress in between the stripe, then you top stitch, or you go ahead and, you know, align the stripe to the wrong side of the dress. Then you are going to stitch it. Then after stitching it, you are going to, you know, bring it to the right side. Then you are going to top stitch on it. And here, that's exactly what I have done. I've created plackets on both sides of the dress. And the next thing to do is to cut our collar, which I've gone ahead to do. All right, if you don't know how to do this, I have a video on this channel on how to do that, and I'll drop the link in the description box below. So I'll go ahead now and attach the collar to the dress, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. So here guys, I've gone ahead to attach the collar to the dress, and up next you can go ahead and create buttonholes and attach buttons to the dress. And the next thing I did guys was to create a rope for the dress, okay? You can go ahead and create a rope that goes all the way from the back of the dress and to the front, okay? And this rope is actually gonna be external. You can either use the rope or not use it, okay? But for this tutorial, I'm going to be attaching the rope to the dress, and that is why I created 2 ropes, okay? What I would do is to place the belts around the waist area like this, and I'm going to pin it, and I'll repeat the same process to the other side like so. Then afterward, I'm going to take to the sewing machine and stitch it. And right now, this is what our dress is looking like on the mannequin. So lovelies, if you find this video helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It will go a long way in making sure that other people sees it too. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that and smash on the notification bell so that you get to see more of my content. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.